Well, it finally happened, everyone. We got a Mario Brothers movie. The very first one. And it was pretty good. And thank you for watching the review. I hope you have a great day. Okay, I just got out of the movie theater, and I do want to talk about it a little bit. And I'll let you know if I'm gonna do any kind of spoilers in this review, because honestly, even though there's really not a whole lot to spoil, I understand why people just want to go in not knowing anything. But overall, I would say that the movie's strengths were its visuals, its music. The fan service was off the charts. It's really, like, tons of references that you could pick up on, whether it be a musical motif or something overt like Mario picking up a power-up. I mean, the logic of the Mushroom Kingdom is straight from the video games. So I can kind of see why, if you're a stuffy critic writing for some newspaper and you don't really play video games, or you're not into video games, I can see how you'd be like, ah, this is kind of dumb. But it's fun. And if you have played a Mario game or two, or three, or all, then you're gonna get a lot more out of this movie. And, the fan service thing isn't necessarily a negative. I think it's actually quite a positive if you're going for, like, a fun, silly movie like this. But yeah, the animation was good. The visuals at times were, like, everything was very expressive. I've never seen an Illumination movie, for the record, so this was my first one. You know, and I think that the music, again, was great. Lots of callbacks to the previous games. Some pop music, and some, like, there's... I guess this isn't a spoiler, but I'll tell you a song that was in the movie. There's an AC/DC song at one point, which I was like, wait, what? And some other 80s music. So there's some stuff that I was just like, what is this doing here? But then you realize that this is just probably what Illumination does. Speaking of, like, animation and visuals, one of my notes was, because I took some notes, not too many. One of them was 3 slow motion. So what I mean by that is there were 3 separate instances of a slow motion scene of a character saying a line, "Slow down." And from what I understand, Illumination does that a lot. So you're gonna see that. There might even be more than 3, but 3 I counted with actual slow voice as well. But the humor mostly worked for me. There were a couple things that I got, like, an actual audible chuckle out of, for sure. And then there were some things that I just kind of, like, went like, ha! I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. And then there were moments where it actually did try to, you know, introduce a little bit of characterization. It's not a whole lot. I mean, that brings me to the plot. Without spoiling anything, if you play Mario games, you know what this is. Mario games involve an evil turtle, and I'm not talking about Dana Carvey's turtle in Master of Disguise. I'm talking about Bowser, who was good. And then you have Mario, you have Luigi. There's a central kind of plot about the brothers. By the way, this soundtrack right now I'm listening to, Mario 64, is on shuffle. So whatever we get is going to be the background of this conversation. But, yeah, the core of the brothers' relationship seems to be central to the movie. And, I guess that worked. I will talk about the voices in just a minute. You want to know what I think about Chris Pratt and Charlie Day. I will get to that for sure. Peach is a tough character to get right, and I think they did. And the reason I say that is, you kind of can't do damsel in distress because it's been overdone, and other reasons, right? So what they ended up doing was they found a balance between Princess Peach being like a mentor and also being able to take care of herself, but also, you know, relying on Mario a little bit. And I always said the most interesting part of Princess Peach in the games are when she is part of the ensemble, when she's helping the party. And she's not just, like, locked in a turtle cage. So I think, for me, it worked. Mileage may vary. Bowser was good. I guess that links us to the voices. We can't really talk about this without the voice acting, right? So, I think Jack Black did a great job, and there were moments when he was genuinely very, like, really good as Bowser. And then there were some moments where he was just Jack Black. And there's a little bit of singing. It's not really a spoiler, but you'll find out if you watch it, and it's just Jack Black. But it worked for me, and I thought it was actually, you know, it was a cute moment, let's just say that. Again, nothing terribly complex or deep. This is not going to win an Academy Award for its story, but all the little moments kind of add together, and it builds just the right amount of Mario world. You know what the Mushroom Kingdom is, and I'll talk about the spoiler stuff in a bit. And you know, well, it starts in Brooklyn, so you saw that in the ads, and I like that. So yeah, some pretty good stuff in terms of like just seeing the world, and all of it looked really good. It's not the dystopian nightmare that is the 1993 Mario Brothers movie. If that movie was extremely far from the source material, this almost sticks to it like too much. And that's okay, because it kind of worked for me. And again, I'm, as far as I'm aware, not a baby. So as someone who was born 1985 that grew up with this stuff, hearing all the little moments in the music, seeing all the little references, it was nice. Clearly, the people that made this actually did their research, and I know Miyamoto was like involved, and Nintendo was involved, and it shows. Okay, so as I said, Jack Black did a good job. Anya Taylor-Joy did a good job as Peach. Charlie Day, that manic energy that he brings to Luigi, is good. There's even a little bit of some spoopy things that work really well. I thought Chris Pratt did a better job than I expected. Is he, you know, hey Mario, I'm sorry, hey Luigi, how you doing? No. Is he, wahoo, bing bing? Actually a little bit. But I see he was going for, oh, I guess that's part of the soundtrack. I guess he was going for, it's generally his own voice, but there's a little bit more. He does a little bit of a New York thing, not too much, and he's expressive. I'll be honest, after the first 10 minutes, I stopped thinking about it, and I just watched the movie, and I thought he did a very serviceable job. I think, again, mileage may vary. Some people will like it. Some people, maybe not as much. But I've already seen some people say that they think he did a great job. And you know what? I would say he did a good job. That's maybe my hot take opinion. The promotional stuff, hearing just a couple lines, and having this character be so fucking iconic, and being so incredibly, like, well-known, and having iterations of that voice that we grew up with, of course someone is going to, you know, do a new take on it, and we're going to be like, wait, what is that? That said, I wish he leaned into the Mario thing a little bit more, and maybe maybe Charles could have done a better job, I'm not sure, but it was fine. It was fine. Keegan-Michael Key did a good job as Toad, and I wasn't crazy about Fred Armisen's Cranky Kong. I thought it was a little bit, really not a whole lot of anything. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong was Seth Rogen. Literally just Seth Rogen. Hey Mario, do you want to go bust some Koopas up? I mean, if you really He did that. He did that, and he did worse. So, I mean, it was fine. Again, once you start kind of like going with the movie, it's fine. And, again, I think that the voice casts did generally, overall, all around, a pretty good job. I really liked Kamek's voice as well. And, anyway, yeah, so the voice acting was not as big a sticking point as I thought it would be for me. And I think overall the story being really simple, you need characters to like kind of carry that. And, they did. And the action was fun. And the visuals were good, and the gags were pretty good. There were definitely some Illumination-type gags in there. that were a little, like, again, I haven't seen their movies, but from what I understand, like, you have, there's a character that is very, cutesy, but says dark things. I think that's probably one of the Illumination things. And, yeah, other than that, though, lots of very, safe choices. And I think if they're going to be doing more movies from here on out, then not a bad starting point. Before we go into spoilers, which again, it's not going to be a huge thing. One of the other notes I have is Mario with real fingers. So at one point you see Mario and Luigi without their gloves on, and that made me pretty uncomfortable. Okay. So, light spoilers for a movie that, again, isn't all that deep, but... So they showed the commercial, the Mario Brothers plumbing commercial at the beginning, which I really enjoyed. They did the you know, old cartoon music, like I said, and I love that. Mario's family, like, what? So Charles Martinet makes a cameo real early, and he's also Mario's dad, and he's great. And the family is real gabagool, like they are very Italian, and they're not afraid to give Mario a little bit of shit. And there's the spaghetti, and they're all in Brooklyn, and it's pretty funny. I liked it. As again, I'm a little biased. I also liked any of the Brooklyn scenes were usually scenes I enjoyed. There's like a Punch-Out pizza place that they were in, so some good stuff. They did have an antagonist plumber, not too dissimilar, but not too close to Scapelli from Mario movie 1993. So it, you know, just some plumber antagonist that tells them that they're jerks. So, like I said, not a whole lot of character motivation, but there's something. You know, it's Mario and Luigi overcoming inadequacy and fear, and you know, saving the things. Like I said, Bowser had some good moments. I think he was actually... Weirdly, Bowser had some of my favorite moments. And, there was the Mario Kart sequence. There was the stuff with, like I said, they played some music, AC/DC Balls music. They showed Diddy Kong with the bongos. Which, I don't know if those are the bongos, but... I would not mind a, Donkey Kong movie spin-off. Again, now we're stuck with Seth Rogen, so if you don't like the guy, you know, future Donkey Kong movies may be tainted. You said taint? Like, what are you doing? What else? Yeah, the character I was talking about was a Luma, who was just extremely, like, they had like a baby voice, but the Luma just kept saying dark things, like the sweet release of death kind of shit, and, it got a chuckle, like the people in the audience liked it, but, you know, I felt like maybe that was Illumination throwing a little bit of their own thing in there. Yeah, I guess, overall, you watch Mario get power-ups. At one point, you hear the Mario 3 music, and that awakened, like, a little thing in me. I was like, oh, that's nice. So, it kind of worked. It definitely worked. This is not, like, high art, but it is very entertaining. It moves quickly. If there is some attempt to play it overly safe, I can understand why. I don't know if I like it better than the Sonic movie, but I might. I appreciate the Mario things more. Like I said, the references, there was like a Luigi's Mansion moment where Luigi's got like a flashlight and he's scared, and I appreciate that. I liked the Mario Kart stuff. There was some Mario 64 references that were like, there's the eel, for example. So, as someone who's grown up with Mario and not Sonic, I do think the Sonic movie might be, like, slightly better cinema. Can't believe I'm saying that. But the Mario movie was more fun. At least for me. And I do think it's still accessible. I don't know what these critics are talking about. Some critic was like, it's borderline offensive. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And saying, like, they don't understand why Mario's hitting question mark blocks to get power-ups. And another one said, like, the animation's not good. I don't know. I thought it was great animation. And I think even if you're not really into the Mario stuff all that much, there's still entertainment to be had here. It's just you have to be in the right mindset for it. And if you do know kind of the Mario silliness, then yes, this will be just fine. It's a movie I would watch again. And it did not blow me away, but it was enjoyable. And I look forward to a potential sequel. I'm going to go through this trailer a little bit and just kind of remind myself, maybe have a couple more things to say. Yeah, so I think these cages, they reminded me of like Mario RPG. Again, Charlie Day was good. I wish he had a little bit more to do. I feel like it was less Luigi, more Mario by a decent amount. But that's also by virtue of the fact that he's in a cage for half the movie. But he was good. He was really good. Yeah, there's that Luma. They show it right here. Yeah, that's the cutesy Luma. The Koopa's minions were fun. They had like a King Babam. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, even though we're in spoilers. But, you know, look, a little Mario Odyssey reference. Some of the stuff where they showed... Okay, so there are like 3 separate sequences that... Probably even a little bit more than that, but I think 2 or 3 specific sequences where they were going to... They were emulating the look of the game with Mario platforming. One where he's, like, learning. One that's just incidental to show that, like, he's... You know, maybe got it in him to do that. In Brooklyn. And one when... Against Donkey Kong. And again... Like, it's fun, and seeing the power-ups and seeing the way things play out ended up being more entertaining than I expected. So yeah, for a direct video game movie adaptation that respects the history of Mario, it worked better than I thought it would. There's there's that symbol there. Even as a Mario Kart reference, like some of the stuff with the kart stuff was like kind of Mad Max, and I enjoyed that more than I expected as well. And again, I don't know Illumination stuff, but I definitely have a feeling... I know what kind of stuff is their trademark. Like, there's even, they showed, like, some Minion trailer and some Duck trailer. I was like, oh, Ducks and Mario, I guess I'm in the right place. So, I kind of have a feeling I know where their stuff is, but this didn't feel like a Minion movie. Like, the humor was a lot less... insane. And, even though the movie moves along at a pretty fast pace, it still didn't feel like Whiplash. So, to me, it just was a nice little... You know, save the character, team up, meet new characters. Mario learns about this new world that he's in, and then it ties together at the end with, you know, Luigi and the family. And so that's the review. I don't really have a whole lot else to say. I will just say this. To close out, I have to have some time to think about this one, maybe process it a little bit. I can see that the Rotten Tomatoes score is like 49% from critics and like 98% or 96% from audiences. And that makes sense. Even though this is only day 1, to me that makes sense. I think kids are going to like this movie. Longtime Mario fans are generally going to like this movie. I think even if you're just looking for something like colorful to throw on, it serves that purpose nicely. And even if you just like video games and don't know a ton about Mario, you know a little bit, it's still a good time. So that's my opinion. I get why audiences, if those are all like accurate reviews, which who the fuck knows, I think that I understand why there's a disconnect between critics and audiences on this one. And I'm trying to kind of put on my critical brain about how I think about movies. I'm not like a professional reviewer. I don't even make movies or anything, but you know, I know when something feels like poop, and this just felt like fun, and I'm glad I watched it. I don't know if I like it better than Detective Pikachu or Sonic yet. I think those two were pretty good. And this was good too. So it's another, to me, worthy addition to, you know, actual good video game movies and not garbage ones. So, I guess thank you for listening, thank you for watching. That's the Mario movie review. I don't know, leave a comment, what did you think? Genuinely, I know, like, the YouTuber thing to do is say leave a comment, but I'm just curious to see what my audience thought of the movie. So, yeah, let me know. And if I left out anything that you wanted me to talk about, I guess you could just throw it in a comment, and I'll take a look. So, goodbye for now. Mario movie. It's a good!